Live. Oh, you got people coming. I guess I gotta start my intro. Huh? Do the intro.
You are now listening to. You are now listening to TDL on silverandblackpride.com.
This play used to be run with 100 Ruggs, and we got Darren Waller on the choice route, Hunter Ripper on the shallow. But I want you guys to watch Tyrann Mathieu here, okay?
You see the ball is out here. He's breaking on the ball. I think if he got a little closer.
Everybody, we are back. It is Tape Don't Lie. We are live from the Senior Bowl. Make sure can you guys hear me out there? Make sure we got the audio going here correctly. If you guys can hear me, because the mic, because it's picking up the mic. It looks like it, right? Make sure here, guys. All right. You guys can hear? You guys hear me? Good? We're good? Okay, perfect. All right, cool. Just want to make sure.
High budget operation.
High budget operation over here, guys. But yeah, hey, we're back today, guys. We just got back from Senior Bowl practice. Really enjoy what we saw today from some positions of need for the Raiders. So we're going to go over those positions we saw earlier today. Go over some offensive line, D-line. Matt was watching that. I was watching the wide receivers and the defensive backs. So we're going to be talking about that today, real quick. We didn't want to mess up the audio, so we're kind of back to back with each other here. But it was a good day, especially for if you were looking for some wide receivers. I thought the wide receivers had a really good day. There's some good DBs out there, and of course the D line on the American, right, was just ridiculous. So
yeah, it was like flip flop. What was it? Who went first? I think it was the National went first. Whatever. It was like O-line was dominating, and then or the other way around. O-line, D-line was dominating, and then other way around when it came to the National. Definitely a big gap in talent from what you can see. All the top 100 dudes on the D-line were in the second practice, and the first practice, all the O-line, the notable O-line guys were there, and it was quite the difference.
Yeah, quite the difference. But yeah, anybody that you want to talk about first, Matt, that stood out to you? Anybody?
I think we got to go with the star of the day, my guy, and I'm going to butcher this, Otito Ogbonia. We'll go with the UCLA defensive tackle, Otito. I just butchered that name. Sorry, Otito, but I hate to break it to you. Your name is hard to pronounce. But, yeah, he started out the day. Someone was telling us about him last night. I didn't know much about him going in. His first rep popped off. He flew off in pass rush with a nice get off. When came back around, won the next one. The only guy that stopped him was Zion Johnson, who I think is a pretty good guard. Actually ended up having a pretty good day too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were loving him, and he was flying off the handle on one-on-one pass rush, and then he's getting TFLs, getting some penetration as a defensive tackle in team and inside run. So he was probably my biggest winner of the day if I had to pick one personally, and definitely a guy that I'm going to go back and watch. So yeah, the other guy too, I think. So some of you probably saw us tweeting about it. Neil Farrell. Another guy that we didn't know a whole lot about going into this. And you want to talk about another impressive get off? That guy was wreaking havoc in pass rush and holding his zone out in the one-on-one or in inside run too. So two defensive tackles that definitely think could be good fits for the Raiders, and maybe even in the mid rounds that had some good days, had some good showing, guys that we're gonna have to go back and watch the film on.
Yeah, Neil Farrell was pretty special. I thought I was like, man, I didn't get a chance to watch him before I got out there, but he stood out. I would say he was somebody that you're like, okay, that's somebody they could take a look at day 3, come in, play nose, and maybe even rush the passer a little bit. That he showed that he has that talent too. So I want to watch him on tape, check him out, see what's going on. Yeah. He has some good pass rush. You talked about Travis Jones, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Travis Jones is day 2 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know if that guy's going to be there anymore. I don't think it'll be a day 1 or a first round, maybe the end of the first round.
Yeah.
But the guy's 330, doesn't look 330. He's not well built, fucking physical, rock. You watch his tape, he's hard to move in the run game. And I was telling you about this on the field, Marcus. One of the things that we knew about him as a pass rusher is he knew he could collapse the pocket with the bull rush. 330, a guy was explosive enough that he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I saw on him, I'm I feel like he can develop a nice swim move. One of the first reps I watched him, I think it was against Zion Johnson, who, again, a lot of people thought had a good day.
Yeah.
Beat him right off the snap with that swim move, adding that quickness. So again, like if you're 330, and I mean, he's a guy that we're going to hear a lot. He's going to rise a lot because he played for such a terrible program at UConn.
Yeah.
No one really knew about him until the last few weeks. And I mean, he's rising up there. He's a guy that, like, I don't know if he's going to be there at, 44 or whatever, or not even 44, my math's off there, but or wherever the Raiders are picking the back half of the second. Like, I can see some teams falling in love with him, or especially if he tests well and has more athletic upside. Because again, 330-pound dudes ain't supposed to be that quick, ain't supposed to move that well like he showed today.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson just dominated today. He's a
guy, like, he dominated, but like I like almost don't want to put him in the winners because like he was like the biggest prospect here. Like, we knew he was going to do well. Yeah. The one thing that I did think was a lot of fun though is him and Darian Kennard went out at the end in front of like everybody. It was like the two like big finishers and like the standouts from like the end of the day in front of everybody. Went 3 reps. I'd say, I don't know, say Johnson won 2. Kennard had one pretty convincing win. So
yeah,
it was fun to watch. I mean, those two were going at it. Yeah, Jermaine Johnson, he was abusing tackles. We were watching one dude, him go up against a guy who I'm pretty sure is going to be in UDFA and say his name to embarrass him, and it was about as what you thought. I mean, the guy had a hell of a day. He measured well too. I think he's got long arms. He measured at like 6'5", something like that, 6'6".
Yeah.
I mean, freaky day.
I'll get to wide receivers. You know, you talk about Bo Melton. I thought Bo Melton showed a lot of separation, but I mean, he had a bad day catching the football. It was really bad. He had a lot of drops today, but he was able to separate against press a lot. So you really like that. He was able to win deep, but you know, he got a couple wins and then he ended up dropping the ball. So that wasn't a good look for him. He has showed better hands on tape. So I'm interested in that and see how that goes going forward with him. You know, the best wide receiver I thought today was Christian Watson. I mean, I thought Christian Watson just dominated today. I thought he was open all the time. He was open on every single level. He was open back shoulders. He had some nice back shoulder throws. He never lost in one-on-ones, and he was a really, really smooth route runner. I posted something about him on Twitter today. But man, he's smooth. He was just, everything was clean, you know, good release. You know, he was able to set up routes, get separation late at the end. He just didn't. He stood out a lot, and he's 6'4". You know, I want to see how fast he is. You know, he's had some really good measurements. You know, just being that tall and that movement that he has and that separation. I don't know. He looks like somebody that's going to rise and have a good day. So Watson's measurables. Let me look that up. I got it right here, actually. If I can scroll up here. Where's wide receivers? Oh, there's quarterbacks. Of course, this thing's all over the place because it wants me to. Where is it? I know he's 6'4". I know that for sure. There, let me do wide receivers here. Sorry about this, guys. There's, he is 6'4", 211, 77-inch wingspan, 10-inch hands. So yeah, he's pretty stacked there. He's a pretty stacked guy. But as I said, his movement for being that tall and that big is really, really good. And he really stood out today. I thought he had an excellent day as a wide receiver. And that's somebody I think the Raiders got to look at, you know, just from coming up from a program that is, you know, a lot of intelligence comes out of that program. I think he's going to be able to make some moves there. So really, that's one of the main wide receivers that stood out to me today. I thought the American teams wide receivers were okay. They weren't like any really standout guys. I mean, Tolbert has some standout plays. You know, somebody to look at. He can win deep. So he's somebody that, I mean, I know you're familiar with Jalen Tolbert. Yeah. But I mean, that's somebody that is. He had
a DJ Daniel Jeremiah dropped his big board. He was in the high 30s, which is I mean, pretty good for some guy that's going to be was competing in the Sun Belt over the last year. So.
Yeah, it's so I really expect him to rise too, but he did have a good. He was the best receiver on that side, but I mean the second group's corners were legit. I really like Mario Goodrich. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Mario Goodrich. I don't remember any Monteric Brown cornerback. I don't remember him. I don't remember seeing any Arkansas corners out there. I remember seeing that. But Mario Goodrich had a really good day. Sort of McCreary played in the slot, which is interesting. Roger McCreary, if you guys are familiar with him, he played in the slot all day. Rarely played outside. He played outside a little bit, but he was in the slot because there's probably his short arms and that measurement. he had, but
which is huge for him too, because he didn't do it a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know how good he is as an outside corner. We want to know too, like, what can he do? Can we put this guy in the slot too? So I think that's part of it too, is why he was in there, trying to show that more versatility. Like, that's happens at a lot of events like this. So I'll be interested to see where he plays tomorrow too.
Yeah, Goodrich was really good. Who else? There's some other good corners that stood out today. This guy from Sam Houston State had a couple good reps, super long corner that I really, really liked. I'm trying to think of some other guys off the top of my head. Let me see what I got my notes here. There's some good corners though. Kobe Bryant did really well. You can tell he had a lot of speed. Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati, the opposite guy of Armand Gardner. He has a lot of speed, you could tell that he is confident in his speed too. He has some really good reps, really good day. So the corner group was pretty special. And then there's my boy, Damari Harris. That's somebody that Damari Mathis. I said Harris. Damari Mathis. He is somebody that I think the Raiders should really look at just for the man coverage skills he has. And we're and the Patriots are coming. We're playing man. So we're going to play a lot of man. He's somebody they got to look at. I don't know if they fall in love with him at 22 or something. I don't know. I know it's kind of crazy signing him right now, but I think that he has the length, and he plays man coverage pretty damn well. He had a good day. So they want to know about your big Daniel.
Fillet, he's a guy, like I tweeted out, he's a guy you're going to hear some people say, like, that guy's going to be locked to be a top 20 pick. And then you're going to hear other people say, oh, yeah, he's a day 3 guy now. Like, it was just so up and down. Like, he had his moments as a run blocker. I mean, the guy's 300 or 380 pounds and could probably lose like 20 pounds and still be a monster. I mean, in pass pro, he had some balance issues. There was one play I think I posted on Twitter. I'm sure people have probably seen it by now, where Myjai Sanders like got into his chest and put him on his back, which, I mean, when you're 380 pounds, like, dude, that can't hahappen. But then we were talking about it. I felt so bad. This kid, I think he was a D2 corner from Arkansas. Filele's out in the open field, and this dude Filele just eyes him up, lines him up, and this dude just had no chance. Like, a 380-pound dude. Again, you're 220 pound DB soaking wet, and this dude who's twice your size comes out running at you. And I mean, he had some moments where he was pushing guys around in the run game. It's just, with him, it's again, like, how much can I trust this guy as a pass pro? If he doesn't have the size, if it wasn't 6'8", 380, as a football player, am I really that high on him? So it's kind of like one of those things where, to me, he's just very raw. I mean, I was talking about it before. For those of you guys that don't know, he's only been playing football for like 4 years. He grew up in Australia, ended up going to IMG Academy his junior in high school. I think didn't even play, maybe just practice or whatever, because it was one of those situations where, like, he didn't even know what a down was, that type of deal. Ended up balling out as a senior and at IMG, and then went to Minnesota and won the starting job over there pretty easily. Sat out 2020 because of with the COVID and all that stuff going on, and then came back this year. So he's very football young, super raw. I mean, again, like, 6'8", 380-pound dudes don't grow on trees, and it's not like he's like a fat dude that can you park in the middle of your offensive line. He can move a little bit too. Got a rugby background, so he's interesting. I just worry about, like, how ready is this guy? How ready is this guy going to be able to hold up against the edge rushers? Is his balance going to be good enough? Because if you're 380 but you can't stay on your feet, you get the Khalil Macks of the world that had those good long arms with those jabs. It's not going to matter how big you are. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm interested to see how he does in the rest of the week. But the biggest thing for me is he's got to win more in pass, bro. He can't get put on your back when you're that big.
Yeah, Matt, what about your thoughts on Zion Johnson? Because I know Raiders need interior offensive linemen, right? So
yeah, he's just in a weird spot where I think he's going to be one of the best interior offensive linemen, which probably means he's going to go late first, early second. I don't know if the Raiders are going to look for that. I mean, it depends on what they want to do with Alex Leatherwood, right?
Yeah, they're
going to leave Alex Leatherwood, or they're going to move Alex Leatherwood back at right tackle. Okay, maybe Zion Johnson's in the mix at 22, maybe even in the second round if Zion's still there.
Yeah.
It seems like he was playing center today, which kind of tells me that he's sticking on the inside. He played tackle, as a junior, and then switched back to guard this year, much more natural at guard. So he's just kind of in this weird area where he's going to be an elite guard that I think, like, unless you really need one now, you can't really take him in the first round. And then it's just, again, it depends on what they want to do with Leatherwood. took some reps at center, had a few bad snaps, but again, first time playing center, you're going to expect that, especially playing with a quarterback you don't even know. You just met, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this guy's got his hand under your balls and all this stuff and whatnot. So definitely was a good day. I'm again, another guy. He was one of the few guys that was able to stop our guy Otito from UCLA.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, he had some good days, had some good moments. It's just a matter of, I don't know if he's going to be in the right spot, if it's going to work out for the Raiders to be able to pick him up.
Yeah. But I mean, he definitely was probably one of the best linemen here for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people were really high on him. A lot of people.
Yeah, the second group of linemen from the American team, they weren't very good. But I mean, they had a good like team session.
They did. Yeah, it was funny. Like I was watching Inside Run, and I was telling you, I'm like, I can't figure out who's doing bad because they're all doing bad. Like,
Yeah.
And then when they went team, I was like the opposite with like the defensive line. Like, I can't tell you who's doing well on the offensive line because they're all creating these monstrous holes. And then just goes to show how a level of competition, once you get up here, it's like anybody can beat anybody. And I mean, yeah, the offensive line, like the biggest guy that I like walked away like pretty satisfied with was going to be Kennard.
Kennard.
I mean, he had a really good game, and I had a really good day. And I'm interested to see on the tape because I feel like he was in the teams. He was doing a lot of things on like the second level that are harder to see. Like there was one play he had on like an inside zone where he just perfect angle cut him off and cut off the linebacker and sealed to create that rushing lane. And that's what I saw on tape from him. Again, goes up against Jermaine Johnson at the end of practice. Is one of the best offensive linemen. Did all right, held his own. Was a little bit more shaky in pass protection than I would have liked, just because from what I saw in college. Like again, like he was a guy I kept watching him and thinking, when is this guy going to get beat around the edge? I thought his feet were too slow and never did. Here it was a little bit shakier, but again, we'll see how it goes for the rest of the week. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Kennard.
All right, just look some questions. Any safeties catch our eye? I mean, I'm a big Jalen Petre fan, and I thought he had a good day. That's one guy that could come in if the Raiders wanted to go like too high and mix with Trayvon Moray. And I don't know how they feel about Jonathan Abram, but Petre he could play strong safety too. He played it at Baylor a little bit, but if they played too high and they played those coverages and they were able to mix it up, he could play man, and so can Moray. And I think that would be a type of mix that you could do. But it's just when they're picking at 22, man, I feel like they're gonna have a chance at a really, really good player, and they're gonna have a choice of 8 different guys they could go. And it's gonna be interesting where they pick because Devontae Wyatt had a really good day. Yeah. Can he rise up to 22? Is that a crazy to take him there? Like, it's because you're in the back end of the first round. It's like,
yeah, it's like who's gonna be around when you circle it back? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like it becomes like, who do we really like at that point?
Yeah.
Or do we trade back if we don't like who's there? So who are we least impressed by? And then I'll get the Kennard question for you. Who are you least impressed by, Matt?
Least? I'll just go with Logan Hall,
Okay.
defensive tackle out of Houston. It was a guy that I thought would be I was really high or was really excited about because he weighed in at 275, which was actually a little bit heavier than what he was billed at Houston this last year, 3 pounds heavier, so not that much of a difference. But he was a guy that, when I watched his junior tape, I sat there and said, this is an athletic, twitchy guy that I think can win as a pass rusher. I just want to see him get bigger and hold up against the run. He put on the weight, put in the work in the weight room this offseason, got bigger, and I thought did a lot better at it. And then we go out here today in the Senior Bowl, and he's like, it was like watching a completely different guy. He was trying to bull rush people, wasn't landing with his chops when he's trying to use the finesse moves. Like it was a pretty ugly day for Logan Hall, a guy that I was really excited about coming into this thing to see what he can do, against stiffer competition, see if he can be that better athlete and whatnot. But ended up having a pretty disappointing day from my eyes.
For me, I mean, I don't know if it was like position of need I was least impressed by, but I mean, if I was going to go with somebody, probably Desmond Ritter. I thought he didn't have a great day. I thought that the other quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett and Carson Strong both had some good throws, and I don't remember one good throw from Desmond Ritter. Like I don't remember he was missing reads, some easy stuff. So I thought that he really hurt his stock today. Because even Bailey Zappi, we were talking about Bailey Zappi kind of outplayed Malik Willis and Sam Hall a little bit, right? So I would say I was least impressed by Desmond Ritter. Because even Howe and Willis had some good throws that I can remember. But Ritter, like, it was nothing. I thought he had a really, really bad day.
In other words, this quarterback class is as rough as
yeah, it's basically a Kenny Pickett world because, I mean, he didn't have a bad enough day for anybody to unseat him. That's the thing. Like he had a it wasn't like a great day, but it was a good day, right? He had some good throws, but in some sense he missed some things.
So if you're comparing just their days, Zapp and Pickett, who had the
I'll go Pickett.
Pickett?
See, it's weird because I think Connor Strong had the best one-on-ones.
Gotcha.
He was the best in one-on-ones. But then, like, when there's like a pocket, he looked like him moving is hilarious. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was climbing the pocket. It took probably like 3 seconds.
I was like, my God, you're slow. That is bad. Yeah, you guys think.
He got zapped twice on his way to climbing.
Yeah. And he was just like, top. And I kind of respect him because he wasn't checking down. And he like refused to check down. He's like, I'm showing off my arm here. Yeah. I respected that. I did. Yeah. But I feel like those are the only guys that weren't that impressive for the quarterbacks. It's kind of weird. I feel like everybody else like had a moment. Like, whereas you weren't too disappointed. I really like the linebackers here too, which is interesting. Denzel Perryman, he's only has 1 year left on his contract. It was like Chad Muma was really, really well. He stood out. He was shooting all the gaps. He looks really athletic from Wyoming. The linebackers, I think it was named 52. I can't from Cincinnati. I can't remember his name right now. But he looked legit in one-on-ones playing linebacker. And there were some good running backs too. Rashad White from ASU, forks up. Forks up, guys. ASU. He was balling. Somebody maybe, if the Raiders want to add some depth at running back, which they might, you never know with, Josh Jacobs coming up on that contract. I mean, there is like Rashad White was there, and some other guys, Beavers.
Yeah, Darian Beavers. That's the Cincinnati linebacker.
Yes. Yeah, Darian Beavers. Yes, he had an awesome day in one-on-ones. He was terrific against tight ends. Really showed some good coverage skills. So there's some linebackers there too. If the Raiders decide they want to beef up the linebacker position, I think this is a pretty good linebacker class from what I was just seeing today. Even some of the guys in the American session were pretty good.
Good linebacker class with Devin Lloyd opting out.
Devin. Yeah. It was good. It was a good day. Devin Lloyd's not here, and Nakobe Dean's not here. But Chad Muma, I think, is somebody that is going to be a good player in the NFL just based on his instincts and why he played. So,
and Wyoming's turned out some linebackers recently. They got Logan Wilson for the Bengals, obviously playing in the Super Bowl, and then Patriots actually, our guy Ziegler drafted a Wyoming linebacker, so not out of the realm for them to dip into the north up there.
How's Velus Jones and Alontae Taylor from the Vols? Velus Jones, he had some good reps. He won deep a couple times. But he had this one rep. He kind of got, beat up pretty bad by the dude from Sam Houston State. Had a dude that had really long arms, basically like knocked him off and got the whole DBs hyped. But he got another rep against him. They redid it and then he burned him deep. So you could see his deep ability. I think was it him or no? It was Tolbert who had the catch during one-on-ones. But Velus had a good day. Taylor, I'm trying to remember. From the reps that he got, I think he had some decent reps out there, but it wasn't too much standing out. He didn't get burned, but he didn't have any crazy stand-up reps too. Because the quarterbacks were missing in the American session, so it wasn't as pretty. But But Velus Jones, I wouldn't say that he made money today, but he didn't lose money, right? I think it's one thing you had to do at the Senior Bowl. If you don't make money, you don't want to lose it either. You'd rather just have a solid week. Just solid. If you're not gonna have an awesome week, you just want to come in and that's guy. He's just a good player that we like. But
to answer the question about Darian Kendara, he only played tackle today, which was a surprise. I thought he'd at least take a few reps at guard to show people, but yeah, he was only playing tackle today. Don't know if that changes throughout the week. But.
So let me ask Matt, where do you see his value at right now?
I like him at tackle. I'm at the. Are you talking about positionally or
both?
Both. Mm-hmm. I like him at tackle. He's to me I was talking about. I kept waiting for him to lose around the edge to a speed rusher when I was watching his tape, and it never even got close to happen. So when I watched that, it's okay, yeah, I can see where some people are talking about, okay, let's move this guy to guard. He might not have the fastest feet, but to me, I was telling you about this. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Donald Penn. Mm-hmm. Where you look at Donald Penn, the frumpy looking dude, you look at this dude, this guy's probably not going to hold up against speed rushers, but he just never was. And it's so I'm kind of at that point where I'm if this guy's just not going to lose, I'm going to make him prove me wrong then. I'll put him there, and worst case, I can maybe get a guy that can slide inside later. As far as draft value, I like him as a first-round tackle. I think I need to watch more tackles to be able to to be able to say that definitively. But like if they ended up like if we were talking right now where I'm at right now, I don't have a problem with taking him in the first round. He's probably more like a second. I think everywhere else has a second round grade on him. So again, another guy that if he does fall down the table and fall in the second round, it could be like my Trayvon Merrick for this year, like the guy that just slides and I can take this guy in the second.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big Darian Kennard fan. I'm planting my flag in that guy again. One of the most impressive offensive linemen in the second practice. So.
Yeah. You want to answer? We'll get a couple more questions. Get the Penning question. I'll talk about Tariq Woolen too.
Trevor Penning, he was up and down. I felt like for a lot of the day, I felt like he was struggling to adjust to the speed a little bit. One of the things that I really liked about his tape at Northern Illinois is he had great hand placement, he had great technique, everything was inside. And then today it looked like it was a little bit faster for him, and his hands were a little bit later. Ends up getting wide, guys getting into his chest. Wasn't as excited or wasn't as impressed with his day. I wouldn't say it was bad by any means. Just kind of fairly neutral, but definitely a guy that I want to keep watching and see if he can have a little bit better day, maybe stand out a little bit more. But yeah, he struggled a little bit. I felt like he was getting used to this. These guys are not the country white boys that I was playing against at the FCS level up in Northern Iowa. These guys are some athletes. So I felt like it was a little bit of adjustment for him. Again, that's something that as we progress throughout the week, like if I can see him, start to fix that and things start to slow down for him and things start to pick and whatnot, that's a good sign. Day one is tough to evaluate people. I know everyone, you want the hot take, but it is an adjustment. Like, yeah, these guys got off the plane, I think over the weekend, right? And they're in a new town, new city. Obviously part of it is adjusting. Part of it being a pro football player is adjusting to your surroundings and all that. But like we still got to remember these guys are still kids. They're still guys that are developing and. You can't ignore that fact that this is a tough event to adjust to. So, especially for a guy that, again, played at Northern Iowa where he didn't get a whole lot of NFL competition.
No, not at all. Tariq Woolen, he was the guy I was talking about that, kind of shut down the practice with his rep. He has long arms. He's 6'4". He's basically a Gus Bradley corner. Like if we were playing cover 3, I was like, that's Gus Bradley's guy. Like Gus Bradley's gonna, oh my God, he's gonna fall in love with that. The long arm, press coverage type of guy. But but like I said, Velus Jones got him on the next time, just running right past him because he doesn't have. You could tell he doesn't have the long speed, being that tall. So that's gonna kind of be the thing with him. How fast is he, right? And because Velus really, he was like trying to catch up, and you could kind of tell that the speed wasn't there. So that's gonna be interesting with him. But all right, guys, I think we're at 30 minutes, man. I think we're good, guys. We appreciate you guys. We got 91 listeners. I know it's not the McDaniels news or anything like that, so it's not as exciting, but we appreciate the 93 that came in here. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. I didn't say at the beginning, but subscribe. I had to make sure the mic was okay first, guys. Sorry. And then make sure you manscaped.com, TDL, 20% off plus free shipping. Make sure you do that. And make sure you follow us on Twitter at mholder95 for Matt, at the Mark John NFL for me. We're going to give you some guys an update tomorrow. I don't know about Thursday because I'm out. Maybe Matt have access. I let Matt do it himself. Or maybe I just do it from the airport or something. I don't know. So we get the recap. We'll do that tomorrow. And we putting the pads on tomorrow. Hopefully it don't rain.
Hopefully.
We don't rain, guys. All right. But we'll see ya. Check you guys out later.
See you guys.